Residents of Gall Hill, Christchurch assured of efforts to address violence in the community. Concerned about the number of people who die from strokes in Barbados. Classes at the Wesley Hall Junior School end early after teachers reported sick. And in sports, West Indies fired up for their final group game against Afghanistan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowie. A police outpost will soon be re-established in Gall Hill and Silver Hill in Christchurch, and residents are being assured that officers will continue patrols throughout the community. Member of Parliament for Christchurch West Central, Adrian Ford, made these revelations after a walk-through of the community earlier today.
Member of Parliament Adrian Medic Ford, Minister of State in the Attorney General Office with responsibility for crime prevention, Corey Lane, and the top brass of the Barbados Police Service touring Gall Hill and Silver Hill. This walkthrough follows last Wednesday's shooting death of 19-year-old Zakir Goodrich, who was gunned down at the Aberdeen Jones Centre and Market in Gall Hill just after 9 a.m. Less than a month earlier, 37-year-old Omar Haynes was shot dead outside his house at Green Hill Drive, Silver Hill. These killings have prompted MP Ford to urge the youngsters to put down the guns.
When a bullet leaves a gun, it does not have a GPS. It doesn't have a pin locator like what we see on the WhatsApp, and maybe having our advancement in terms of technology. It does not have a defined target, and incidentally, that same person who pulls the trigger could be the receiving end of the bullet if it ricochets and back on the same target. I am saying it is senseless, and these guns that are being used in a man-to-man in society must be put down. And I'm telling a young person, I just went through all the opportunities they have. Let us come and empower ourselves to build Barbados better.
Minister Lane stresses that everyone has a role to play in the fight against crime.
I am calling on Barbadians to ask where was I and what role I can play. Like the minister said, there are many programs and many opportunities that young people can get themselves involved in. Some of them need a helping hand. Some of them need, as we would call it, a little spoon feeding. So I'm asking every Barbadian, every uncle, every girlfriend, every person out there to start to point our young people to the opportunities and programs that we have to offer. My call to action to every Barbadian tonight is to look into the mirror if you want to see crime prevention and ask yourself, who can I mentor? Who can I point in the right direction? Because they cannot do it alone, the government cannot do it alone. We in this together, all of we, according to Peter Ram, as the minister said.
Assistant Superintendent in charge of operations at the Oistins Police Station, Stephen Griffith, says they are still ironing out all the details of the police outpost. In the meantime, he says lawmen will continue patrols throughout the community.
This is the time when the police service is coming together as one with the community and with the persons in both Silver Hill and in Gall Hill to bring some order to a challenge which has surfaced over the past few weeks. We will continue to support all positive efforts.
And resident of the area, Stephen Waldron, is making a special appeal to parents across communities.
Sometimes we experience help to, sometimes knowingly and unknowingly, point our children in these directions. But we need to be out there and saying to them, try something different and be willing to go all out to help them.
It is now up to members of the community to work together for the greater good. Rachel Legard, CBC News.
Rachel, thank you. A 29-year-old motorcyclist has been hospitalized in serious condition after being shot last night. Police say they received a call about 9 o'clock that a man had been shot and collapsed in the road at Sergeant Street, St. John. Officers responded and confirmed the man, who was on his way home, was attacked by two armed men and shot in the chest and neck. The gunmen then fled the scene. The injured man was taken to hospital by ambulance. Police investigations are continuing. The police predial larceny squad is taking crop theft very seriously, and the efforts are concentrated in the southern side of the country, where the majority of theft takes place. CBC News spoke with Deputy Commissioner of Police Ian Branch, who says they've been working hand in hand with the farmers to get a handle of the situation.
Our lines are always open. We take calls, but what I can say, we don't only depend on the farmers to call us. We work hand in hand with the farmers. We try to identify the areas of concern, and when I say the areas of concern, I mean crops that would soon be ready for harvest, and we try to work with the farmers based on the information that they have. And some farmers I also know play their part, where they are actually trying to protect their property, but you would appreciate that the areas are vast, especially what we call in the southern divisions, in Phillip, St. George, Christchurch, and St. John, and also St. Lucie.
Mr. Branch has been commenting in response to concerns from some farmers about the ongoing problem of predial larceny. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, crop thieves are getting bolder. He highlighted the plight of a St. George farmer who has repeatedly been targeted in recent weeks and has been having issues getting assistance from the police. Mr. Paul also believes crop thieves should feel the full weight of the law.
Think about suspended sentences. We need to stop that when it comes to agricultural produce, because if we are really to encourage farmers to produce on a constant basis in this country, knowing that of course they're protected by the law, we cannot have a situation where magistrates now go easy on these thieves when they come on people's property and take it away.
Approximately 384 people in Barbados die annually from strokes or cerebral vascular accidents. That's about 13.6% of deaths in Barbados, making the island the 119th country in the world with a high number of people dying from these medical issues. These figures have been disclosed by Senior Officer of Health in the Ministry of Health with responsibility for NCDs, Dr. Elizabeth Mandeville. She's also revealed the University of the West Indies and the Ministry of Health have embarked on a population-based multi-NCD registry to collect data on strokes, heart attacks and cancer island-wide. Further, Dr. Mandeville says NCDs must be mainstreamed within both the primary and tertiary healthcare sectors. She was speaking at the Barbados Physical Therapy Association's Stroke Symposium under the theme, A Holistic Approach to Managing Strokes.
This means increasing access to screening, diagnosis, and treatment for the NCDs. It also means reorienting our health systems towards community-based care, which means reducing the geographic, financial, and cultural barriers to ensure more people can appropriately manage their chronic conditions.
Dr. Mandeville stresses in order to achieve all of this, a multi-sectoral collaboration is needed to address the underlying socio-economic factors driving NCDs.
What has been achieved so far in relation to NCDs and stroke management is a hopeful sign of progress. But our current efforts are not enough to reach the Sustainable Development Goal of a 1/3 reduction in NCD premature mortality by 2030. This is an ambitious goal, and this is why this symposium is an invitation for us to embrace this agenda with all our might and go above and beyond what we've done up until now to assist those living with the non-communicable diseases, especially strokes.
The Barbados Union of Teachers is probing reports that a number of teachers at the Wesley Hall Junior School reported sick for work this morning, causing classes there to be cancelled. This information from BUT President Rudy Lovell. His comments come after a statement issued by the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training that classes at the school had ended early after at least 22 teachers reported sick. Mr. Lovell tells CBC News he needs to get more details before he can give any official comment on the matter. He also points out that he's unaware of any grievance among members at the school. The Ministry of Education earlier stated it attempted to secure substitute teachers from the Erdeston Teachers Training College, but was unsuccessful as classes had already been suspended for the semester. By 10:25 this morning, only 5 of 32 teachers had reported to work, which was deemed insufficient to effectively manage the class load of students. Students were allowed to have their school meals before parents and guardians were asked to collect their children at wards at 12 noon. Well, coming up, Barbadians told to seize new opportunities in the artificial intelligence field. That story next. Barbadians have been encouraged to go after new opportunities in the field of artificial intelligence. The advice from founder and managing director of Carisec Global Inc., Edward Millington. He says while the introduction of the technology may make some jobs redundant, it will also create a need for new skills.
You have the data screening, you have the testing of the AI itself. There's so many areas of persons now being able to find themselves in this particular area. Like for instance, Paul would have mentioned the risk assessment. So there is I think that if one look at AI in a real nice perspective, while there will be some job losses, let's say you have maybe secretaries and so forth, the fact is that there are other avenues that are being created right now. And if you want to talk about calibrating AI, if persons can start entering those fields, all the better.
Mr. Millington was a guest on The People's Business last night. He suggests the creation of a national or regional strategy to guide the development of artificial intelligence.
AI is such a vast thing, is that you will require, let's say maybe the whole Caribbean, for the whole Caribbean to move forward to top that there, it means then that we need to have that regional strategic direction for it. So just like how we have like CXC and A levels and so forth, we need to then have a really AI program that could develop from such a young age, like what we're doing with robotics and so forth. We need to start AI development or start AI education within the school so that we better prepare our people for the next, let's say, next 10, 20 years, etc.
The first of 8 bridges identified to be repaired or reconstructed under the Scotland District Road Rehabilitation Programme has been prefabricated and is ready to be shipped to Barbados. The bridge at Bruce Vale St Andrew, which was closed in 2021 owing to structural failure, will be replaced with a new bridge in the same location. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works, Cynthia Bradshaw, says a tremendous amount of planning went into bringing the project to this stage. She's also disclosed bridge designs are being executed for other bridges across the Scotland District.
MTW has been carrying out a comprehensive study of the other aging bridge infrastructure across the island. Much of the work of our technical teams is currently focused on geotagging each location, inspecting and collecting information on the condition of the bridges, as well as developing a scope of works for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of those bridges. This type of analysis is critical to ensuring that we have accurate information about the condition, the safety, and durability of our bridge infrastructure. And it is going a long way in helping us to prioritize and to plan strategically, as the ministry will soon be rolling out a preventative maintenance program for our bridges as well as our retaining structures.
Meanwhile, construction will start on the retaining structure commonly referred to as Lanes Bridge in St Joseph from next Monday the 24th under the Scotland District Road Rehabilitation Programme. That's the word from Deputy Chief Technical Officer of Projects in the Ministry of Transport and Works, Dave Scanterbury. He says the work will be carried out by the China National Complete Plant Import and Export Corporation, or Complant Limited, through Infra Inc. and contract workers from MTW.
The Gibbon retaining wall will be built to strengthen the existing retaining structure. The Complant team have engaged the services of Infra Inc. to construct the stone base and to execute other road works. MTW will use contract workers to construct the Gibbon retaining wall on the upstream side of the watercourse.
Minister Bradshaw explains why the work is being executed at this time.
Lanes Bridge was initially not amongst the priority bridges in the Scotland District project. It is a raised retaining structure with a small culvert, and it would have been repaired during works planned for the rehabilitation of Highway 3A in the second phase of the project. However, the retaining structure became compromised due to heavy rains, which we experienced late last year. And we took the immediate decision to have Complant focus on designs for this area. The upcoming works, therefore, will focus on preserving the integrity of the retaining structure, but the work on the actual road along Highway 3A will follow after other ongoing works have been completed.
Prime Minister Mia Motley is tonight paying tribute to former Barbados Labour Party stalwart Herbie Yearwood. Ms. Motley says Yearwood, a former Deputy High Commissioner of Barbados in London, also served as a senator from 1985 and a member of the Oystins Festival Organizing Committee for more than 3 decades. She says he was a faithful organizer, supporter and worker for the BLP, going back to the days of late Prime Minister Tom Adams. Ms. Motley says the country will always be thankful for Mr. Yearwood's hard work and dedication to improving the lives of Barbadians. On behalf of the government and people of Barbados, Prime Minister Motley extends condolences to Mr. Yearwood's family. Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell has reaffirmed that his ministry is working hard to bring more airlift to the island. He was speaking as the specially invited guest at a reunion for past stalwarts and students of the St. Leonard's Girls' School. Mr. Gooding-Edgell, who is an alumnus of St. Leonard's Boys, was one of the honorees of the night for his achievements. He was said increasing airline seats to Barbados is part of a strategy which will provide sustainable growth for the island's tourism.
We are driving and we are building more airlift capacity into destination. That will certainly help us to ensure that we build out. And it's all part of a growth strategy that we have in place to grow tourism. We would have seen what we were able to accomplish in the first quarter, and as we go into the second, as we are in the second quarter, and World Cup cricket celebrations, along with the summer marketing campaigns that the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. that they have executed, I think it all augurs well for the development and the sustainability of the tourism sector in Barbados.
Barbadians now have the rare opportunity to see the original music sheets and books of lyrics for some of the most iconic songs from Barbados Cultural Ambassador, Dr. the Most Honorable Anthony Gabby Carter. It comes as the National Library Service has mounted a display at its Independence Square location featuring Gabby's local and global awards, tokens and personal items accumulated over the past 6 decades. The veteran Calypsonian tells CBC News he's humbled by the honor and hopes it will inspire all to work hard.
I want especially the youngsters to take the time out to come to the library and view this exhibition and read some of the books and stuff. Not books about myself, but books about information from all over the world. Historic books, geographical books, mathematic books, you name it. Whatever the genre is or whatever the subject is, this library has it.
And coordinator of the government libraries and the National Library Service, Carl Adamson, gave the rationale for the event.
We felt that Gabby's contribution to Barbados was immense, so we decided that we should try to honor him in some form or fashion. So we sat with Gabby many afternoons and we talked about what we can do, to help to stage an exhibition and actually collect information that the public can actually come and see.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inc. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Time now for Sports Night as we're joined by Damien Best. Damien, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you, Pearson. Captain of the West Indies women's side, Hayley Matthews, says a change of strategy is necessary in the second ODI against Sri Lanka women. The hosts beat the Windies by 6 wickets in the first match after a middle order collapse saw the Windies being bowled out for a below par 195 in 47.1 overs. That score was easily chased down.
Just having set batters in coming towards the end of the innings. Like I said before, we had a lot of starts, but no one was able to carry on and make a really big score, so we just continued to lose wickets at regular intervals. So if we could improve on that, and then I think in the bowling and the fielding department, we were probably a bit loose early on. A matter of fact, throughout the entire innings, and gave them a bit too many boundary balls. So I think just our consistency on a whole wasn't the best, but at the same time, as the first game of the series, we definitely have a lot to build on.
Yeah, playing that second ODI starts tomorrow at 12:30 a.m. Barbados time. Meanwhile, the West Indies Academy are gearing up to face host emerging Ireland in the first of two four-day fixtures after losing the ODI series 3-0. That game starts tomorrow at 6 a.m. Barbados time.
The Business Report is brought to you with the kind compliments of the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
In business tonight, there continues to be a high demand for flights between Barbados and Grenada. That's the word from Caribbean Airlines and Intercaribbean, two of the airlines servicing the route. Over time, both carriers have ramped up to daily flights. Sales executive in charge of the Eastern Caribbean for Caribbean Airlines, Vina Ratan-King.
Barbados has now become as a mini hub for us, and we have daily flights out of Barbados to Grenada. Grenada is the Spice Island. So we have a lot of persons going to Grenada, not just for leisure, but we also look at various segments of the market, whether it is corporate, whether it is student travel. As you know, there is SGU, which is based in Grenada. So therefore, Caribbean Airlines ensures that we can provide frequency and capacity.
And Intercaribbean's marketing coordinator, Carolina Torres, notes they're also catering for the movements between the two destinations.
We have daily flights between Barbados and Grenada. In fact, we have a multiple flight schedule between both islands, and we provide connectivity and flexibility for those traveling or island hopping. We will continue working to connect Grenada and Barbados with more of the Caribbean.
Preparing local accountants for current and future changes in the profession is part of the agenda of the 41st Annual Conference of Accountants at Wyndham Grand Sam Lords Castle Resort later this month. Word of this from Chairman of the Organizing Committee, David Simpson, who tells the Business Report that the conference will be hosted by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Barbados.
Our theme for the conference is actually Together Towards the Future. We think, retool, and respond. So the accounting profession supports businesses, as you know, and with all of the changes, not only to our profession, but across the business landscape, we thought that this year we needed to have our delegates focus on how we can move forward together, the profession and those that we serve, and yet still pay attention to the needs of ourselves as members of the profession on an individual basis. So we're going to rethink how we do things, how we need to change in response to what's happening in the external environment. We will consider how we retool ourselves, our practices, as well as assist our clients in retooling their businesses. And of course, then what is on the table for us to critically respond to.
Let's get back to more sporting action now. Here's Damien Best.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Well, CBC Sports understands that Technical Director of the Barbados Football Association, Emerson Boyce, has resigned. Boyce, who took up the position in May of 2022, also served as interim head coach of the Barbados men's senior team following the departure of Portuguese Orlando da Costa for their final two games of the failed CONCACAF Nations League campaign in 2023-2024. CBC Sports will continue to follow the story as it develops. Well, Megan Best and Kamal Kamabach reigned once again as squash champions when the 2024 Barbados Senior and Masters National Championships concluded recently at Marine Gardens. CBC's Margaret Boyce reports.
Megan Best in yellow and white with the serve up against Surima Suleiman. Early stages of the contest saw Suleiman falling behind and Best capitalizing. Having gained the momentum, Best was in her groove and looked at her brilliant best. This is a decent rally, but in the end, the low shot was just too much to handle for Suleiman. Suleiman had only a few moments, one of them coming here. Powerful backcourt hitting results in this. A fantastic winner, and Best had no answer. Nevertheless, Best wrapped up the first set 11-2 when she easily got the better of Suleiman here. This is too easy. Skip ahead to the second set where it was more of the same. One-way traffic. Both players were showing great awareness and quick movement around the court, but Bess showed her experience and picked up another point here. That's brilliant. Bess went on to take the second set 11-3 and the third 11-2 in a very dominant display that earned her a sixth senior national women's title, winning 11-2, 11-3 and 11-2. Let's move to the second final now, featuring Kamal Kamabach in all black, taking on the veteran Sean Simpson. Long rally to begin the match, and it ended with Simpson taking the lead when Kamabach smashed this one long. Kamabach responded quickly after with a textbook winner, which proved to be too hot to handle for Simpson. Kamabach then went on to take the first set 11-5, dropping shots like this. Incredible. However, the second set told a different story, as Simpson was definitely on top. Here he is making this low shot count. Impressive. And things got much better for Simpson in the latter stages, and he was strong with the low shots. This was another one that Kamabach had no answer for, as he took the second set 8-11. Just as the first, the third and fourth sets belonged to Kamabach, and despite a valiant effort, Kamabach went on to reign supreme, winning the final 11-5, 8-11, 11-3 and 11-9. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, Spring Memorial continued their good run in the Dasani Power-Aid Barbados Secondary School's netball competitions, with the latest victims being Princess Margaret Secondary. The first form match was a close one, with the Government Hill girls eking out the 5-4 win, but they were totally dominant in the under-15 match. CBC's Anne-Marie Burke reports.
This was as lopsided a game as you could get. The score at the half was 9-0 as the girls from Springer totally shut out their opponents from Princess Margaret. Here we go as the ball heads into the Springer circle with the goal attack bib this third quarter. Kezia White-Keel just netting those goals. Princess Margaret scored a single goal in the entire game, and this was it. The contact call is given outside the circle, and wing attack takes possession. She finds her goal attack Kamaya Horn-Ramsey, who goes off the rim, but there to salvage it, and at least with a point on the sheet is Jakara Cattle, although having to really work hard for it. There she goes. But Springer were just stretching the lead more and more as White-Keel again to finish the play. The Government Hill girls ended the third quarter up 14-1. So let's just close it out. Springer would add another 3 goals in the final quarter. White-Keel ended with 14 from 23 attempts to lead all in the circle, as Springer would totally demolish the girls from Princess Margaret, winning at 17-1.
Well, that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. By God's will, we'll see you tomorrow.